Hey, before we do anything else, we have to thank our sponsors, Smile Traveller, who have not only sent me to Barbados, which is very lovely, but also decked me out in this extremely fashionable cap.
Yeah, no, Smile aren't just good at making George look good, they're also specialists in worldwide sports travel. And this winter, they'll be taking England fans to the Caribbean for an exciting white ball series.
I think I have said before, but I have had some amazing experiences with them. I ended up in Gordon Greenwich's house where he cooked for us and served lots of drinks and told us stories about his career and things like that is what they're really, really good at. That's a sort of point of difference. So, I am clearly being paid to say this, but even if I wasn't, I would wholeheartedly endorse them. They're really good people and very reliable. A lot of fun.
Well, as part of the trip, you'll get the chance to meet and greet some of those famous West Indies and some England cricketers of yesteryear at some private events. You'll stay in the comfort of carefully selected hotels. All of your travel will be taken care of, and there'll be dedicated tour managers to ensure everything runs smoothly. So you've got nothing to worry about.
And I think there's a link under the video where you'll be able to click on it and get deals. And maybe even get a hat a little bit like this. That's the dream.
Hello from Bermondsey and Bridgetown. This is Ask George. Hi, George. This is becoming a bit of a familiar occurrence, isn't it? Post-match rain games.
It's very like Leeds here.
But it doesn't quite look like it in the background.
Maybe not. No, maybe not. Actually, it's been a very wet day, but it's still very warm. Probably 30 degrees.
Good. Anyway, it's late here in the UK, so let's get on with it. Ben Rigby, first up. Can the ICC legitimately call this a flagship tournament when they organise it in the rainy season?
I do think it's a legit point that you make there, Ben. And I would remind you what it was like in Australia when that tournament was held in October and it was, defined by the weather. Australia themselves, I think, might partly because of bad luck with the weather. So we all know what's happening. You're compromising with the international schedule because of all the franchise leagues and all the bilateral tournaments and what have you. This has been squeezed in a suboptimal time of year. Rain here. I mean, I don't think I've been here in June before, but it does rain in Barbados a lot, all through the year. That's why you get that incredibly colourful, beautiful countryside. The thing is that it doesn't tend to stay for as long as it did today, and it dries, as you did see briefly today. It dries really fast. So it can happen at any time of year, particularly in Barbados, I think. But I think you do make a point, and they are compromising again and again, but we know why, because this isn't their priority. It's been squeezed in. And the only thing that will make them listen is when the broadcasters say, well, do you know what? We're getting quite a lot of rubbish. We're not going to pay as much, which will happen, I think, in the next... they'll only have themselves to play. So the point you make, Ben, is spot on.
Next up, Ron Martin. Rain aside, has England's lack of preparation in the West Indies put them on the back foot immediately?
It feels a bit early to say that, I think. 10 overs, I mean, a couple of misfields that cost a run or two each and a no ball. Apart from that, it rained and the ball was hard to hold. I wouldn't hold much against Adil Rashid for a full toss or two in those conditions. It was difficult. So it feels a bit premature to say that. It is fair to acknowledge they didn't absolutely nail it today. But equally, it was 10 overs and Scotland played well. I think that's one of the things you'd have to say, there was a key factor is that actually Jones played the pace really well. Munsey played the spin really well. You'd want to give them credit. I take the point. It's definitely, there's a cloud in the mind about England maybe and their performance today, but I do think it's a bit premature to reach too many conclusions. They've looked better than this both in training and against Pakistan.
Yeah, a more positive spin on that from Ben again here. He says, alarm bells for England, or is that a bit of match practice for the bowlers?
There are alarm bells in the sense that if it happens again, they're in trouble. If they lose another match to the rain against Oman or Namibia, they are in deep trouble. For this reason, if Scotland win those games, and they are favourites to just about, Namibia's, tough game, but then they'll be equal on points with England if both sides lose to Australia, and then it comes down to run rate. So cannot even countenance losing those games, but actually it would be potentially very, very difficult for them if they lost a game to the weather. So in that respect, there are alarm bells. In any other respect, I really do think it's too early. I mean, I don't think they got everything right. I don't even think they got the team selection right today. But I wouldn't feel that too strongly or with any certainty at this stage. 10 overs. Scotland played well. Again and again, I'm going to say that. I think it was more a case of Scotland playing well than England playing badly.
Yeah, and slightly tongue-in-cheek from Danny here. Should England try their innovative, don't take any wickets approach against Australia on Saturday?
Who's opening the bat? I mean, I'm trying to think who you want batting against you least for us in the Australian team. Probably Travis Head. Is he the fastest scorer? I mean, he does score. We were just talking about this in the car on the way home. He does score crazily fast. I mean, his strike rate in the IPL was absurd. So there's lots of people. No. Look, the point of playing Wood and Archer, they said, was to make a statement about their pace and aggression. I think you can make a statement in a different way by just being really good. And I thought that Topley might have utilised the conditions a wee bit better. I think he is more of an expert in new ball bowling, even in T20. And I think that it disrupts, in the warm-up games, well, I thought that Jofra was going to bowl the 6th over, for example. And instead you had Jordan bowling it. And that's a tough over to bowl. You had, they came back on and the bowlers only were allowed to bowl 2 overs. Wood and Jofra were bowled out. I wasn't positive it worked brilliantly as a tactic. They might want to think about that. But the whole point of this England attack is to be able to visit the innings. And if they fail to do that, they're also going to fail to stem the flow of runs. It's going to be very difficult without taking wickets.
You mentioned Chris Jordan there. Daniel Chapman says, is Chris Jordan one of those cricketers who's in there as an all-rounder when he's not really good enough with the bat or ball?
It's really, really harsh. He's in there as a bowler who bats a bit, and that's a distinction. He's in there as a specialist death bowler, which means he's often going to bowl difficult overs which go for a few runs, as he did today. He bowled the 6th over. Statistically, that's tough. He'll come back and bowl 2 in most occasions. His ability with the bat is to hit a long ball, to maximise the fact that if he might face 5 balls, he'll get a few off them. But he's not an outright all-rounder by any means. And he's also a ridiculously good fielder, probably the best in this squad. So I think he should be judged as a bowler. And he's just been recalled. He hardly, he didn't do very much wrong today. A slower ball comes out. I mean, the batter said, Jones said, he basically just swung for it and it came off. And it was a massive, fantastic shot. It was a big 6, broke a solar panel on top of the Greenwich and Haynes stand for a big hit, then bounced out of the ground. Bowlers are going to get hit for 6s in T20. I just don't think you should jump to conclusions with it. I think he helps this England side fit together quite well. And let's see how he goes in the next few games. Judge him on the whole World Cup, I think, not 2 overs with a wet ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see us home, innocent bystander, are we allowed to say Scotland had a moral victory today?
I think if roles were reversed, some England supporters would definitely say that. Look, at the end of the game, Matthew Mott said he was hugely confident that England were going to win that, were going to chase that down, and all the advantages with them. But it's true that Scotland would have been challenged by a slippery ball. There's no way around it. 109 in 10 overs takes some getting. My own view is that I were in the better position. And I thought they more than strengthened the call for more games against England. England have done very little really to help Scotland in recent years. And, I still love this idea of the four nations. A reminder to everyone that England have never won a game against a European side in T20. And I think we're missing an opportunity not having a four nation host for the bank holiday weekend. A game on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, final Monday. So I thought they showed that they deserved a lot of respect. And showed that, as I say, if they beat Namibia and Oman, and they're quite capable of doing that, they're going to be very possibly on level on points with England at the end of the group stages. Anything can happen.
Yeah, well, it very much feels like we were robbed of a 10-over shootout thriller there. But
it does really. But look, I don't understand why. And I don't think many of them are, because, and I know that Inno, who asked that, is definitely asking tongue in cheek, because I know that he's been at a lot of those games, which I've been at. But I've seen England lose twice to the Netherlands in T20 cricket. Never seen them beat them. Seen them lose to Ireland in the last World Cup when England went on to win it. And the last time England played Scotland in an ODI, Scotland won. So England have played some brilliant cricket in all formats over the last years, but there's not really any room for arrogance or aloofness. And, definitely Scotland showed they deserve respect today. And I hope it's done their cause some favours. It's such a shame that we didn't get a few more overs in. It's such a shame there isn't a common sense clause in the ICC cricket regulations, but there isn't. And so, really, really frustrated to have come all this way, for everyone to have spent all this money and have this underwhelming experience. But it does happen. It's nobody's fault, really.
Okay, that's all from today. A wet start, but we're back on Saturday for England-Australia. Well, hopefully we get a full game in. So we'll see you then.
Cheers, everybody.